And I thought to myself, only a little cafeteria lady. What do they see? Then I realized they seen the love.
Mm-hmm.
They seen the love. And I still have it. I have not gotten tired of these kids. And if they do something wrong, the hammer comes down.
Dave Bolger here, and welcome to Had I Known, conversations with interesting members of the Hamilton College community. This week's guest is Marge Petteys. All right. Something tells me we have some new listeners this week. So if you're new to the show, welcome. As I just said, this is a show that features conversations with interesting members of the Hamilton College community. And boy, do we have an interesting one this week. I'm guessing there's new listeners because when I asked for people to share their memories and stories about Marge on social media, I got a really strong response. Lots of love out there for Marge. May Turner on Facebook may have summed it up best. She says the best thing about Marge is there's no single Marge story. Marge was the friendly face and hug you could count on, rain, snow, or shine. She was a constant positive force. She was kindness and love to generations of kids away from home for the first time, all desperately trying to spread their wings and assert their independence. Determined not to be seen as a kid, but trying to hide the common and constant insecurities of that phase of life. She was a listening ear, parent, mentor, friend, all wrapped in one amazing package. I think that pretty much nails it. Now, I want to come back to that part about insecurities in a moment, but there are a few other comments I want to share. Like this one from Jill Ann Chipman, who says the best thing about Marge is that she was just there. Having a terrible day? Marge. Missing home? Marge. Good news to share? Marge. Jill says her first year was pretty rough, and having the friendly face of Marge was a reliable and comforting constant that first year. And then there's Carla Maria, who remembers Marge asking her, "Where's your hat?" on those freakishly cold mornings. Marge definitely reminded her of her mom. And that's just it. She was a surrogate mom to generations of students. And yeah, as May said, and it's come up countless times on this show, the insecurities that we all dealt with as students there, especially early on. And Marge ends up playing a central role in helping students get through that. And it's a role she understands and does not take lightly, as you'll hear. And interestingly, as she shares, she brought her own insecurities to the job and sees the students as a key source of helping her overcome some pretty major insecurities. Pretty phenomenal story. Now, before I share this conversation, I want to take a moment to thank Maeve Siebold from the Had I Known team, who was critical in producing this episode. Episode doesn't happen without Maeve, so thank you, Maeve. All right. Hope you enjoy this conversation. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Some great stories. I got a lot of great stories, some of which I had to cut out to protect those involved in the story, namely Marge. I don't want to get her in trouble. But if you want to hear those stories, go back to campus, pay a visit, get a hug, and get some good Marge stories. But in the meantime, enjoy this conversation. Here is the one and only Marge.
Good.
You haven't aged a day since the probably 20 plus years since I've seen you. That's incredible. You got to tell me your secret.
Really?
Yes, you look great.
These kids are keeping me young.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is an absolute honor for me.
It's an honor for me.
Oh, please.
No, I'm serious.
You so as I mentioned in our little pre-call, this is a show that I've been doing where I talk to interesting members of the Hamilton community about their time at the school. And you are very much at the tops of that list in terms of interesting members of the community. And as I said on a show, I think last week, If anyone has eaten a meal on that campus since, what was it, 1996 is when you joined?
1990, no, 1992.
92. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I had my facts wrong.
Or 94.
Okay. So anyone who's eaten a meal since that time has been impacted positively by you. And that's a whole lot of students. So when I asked for who I should talk to on the show, you can imagine how many people put you high on the list.
Really?
Yes.
And I don't say that much. Oh, yeah, I do. When I'm over there at Commons, I'm a different person.
Is that right?
Yes.
How so?
I just feel that I can let things out. But at home, I'm very, very quiet. I take my hearing aids out and I don't hear the world.
Uh-huh.
I have my hearing aids in and I hear the world.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So you use it as you use your time there as a way to, it's a connection to, I guess, right?
It's more than a connection. It's like home. This is home.
Yeah.
This is my second home.
What, so going back to that time in the early to mid 90s, what brought you to Hamilton? How did you end up there?
Working, we were contractors and it was slow. And I needed a job. And this was the only job that I had. And
the only job you've had?
This is the only job I had.
Wow.
Because with hearing impaired, you don't mingle. You don't socialize because you don't understand what people are saying. So I would determine or figure out what they were saying, and it was all screwed up. But I didn't mind. As long as it was in my head, I didn't care. And the school just brought a lot of love to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I dote on that. I dote every day that I was blessed to be chosen to come here.
Well, and many people are blessed, feel the same way about you being there. What was your first impression of Hamilton when you joined back then?
I couldn't get over, in the beginning, I thought very, very studious. They were all, looking forward to going on. And they weren't, in my eyes, I didn't see any badness or anything like that. The only thing I seen was they wanted to learn and get out of here. That's in the beginning, that's what I thought. And I didn't really pay attention to them because I was so scared of working. So after a while, when the kids would just keep coming in, and I didn't start just being a checker. I started doing the grill, doing the serving, doing the baked goods, doing the sandwich bar. I didn't start at one level. I did each one. And then they were looking for a checker. I said, okay. And I've been here ever since.
Wow. And how long did it take you to get comfortable? So if you said you weren't comfortable early on, especially as
I was scared of me.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to get over. You got to get over that.
Yeah. How long do you think that took you?
I bet you at least a year.
Okay.
Because I didn't have any confidence in myself. And that's hard when you have a disability and you're going out into, this is a big world here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I've loved it ever since. And I'm not even tired of it. And it's been this long.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It's interesting to hear you say that you weren't comfortable or there was an insecurity with you, because as I've talked to more and more people, students or alumni about their time at Hamilton. And I suffered from this myself. So many students, especially at that age, are dealing with their own insecurities and end up turning to people like you to make them feel comfortable. Did you sense that in students early on?
Yes. I learned that when I quit for a year when my oldest son got killed by a drunk driver. Mm. And I quit here. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like it. I was very unhappy because I was happy here. Yeah. So my boss called me one day and asked me if I wanted to come back, and that he would have me come over to McEwen or Commons. And I walked in there and I said, please give me the strength. And I've been over there ever since. Yeah. And I've met kids. I've learned that I met one young man from Paris, and I always believed in hugs. I always believed in looking at people, because when you have a disability, that's how I got through it, was paying attention to because I could read their lips. Yeah. Not the words, but I could read their lips. Yeah. And he said to me one day, he said, Marge, my mom never hugged me. And that brought me to tears. And I said, do you mind if I hugged you? And he said, would you? That's how it started, with hugs. I hugged him so hard. And I said, now you got to pass that on.
Well, you get students at a much different time, literally every day, or different experience than most on that campus, right? They're most honest, potentially the most vulnerable. Certainly their guard is down more so than when they're in class or on the athletic field or in a room with clubs. They're just coming to break bread with their friends or even by themselves. It's the most honest and guard down position they're in. And probably when they're coming from a rough day, when they're most in need of a hug. So thank God for you.
You know what? And I needed the hug. I needed it just as much as they did. Yeah. So we worked through it. Yeah. Or if I seen a kid go off by himself or her, I would say to the kids, you need to go sit with them, because it's not fun being alone in the world. Even up here, you need to sit and say hi. That's all it takes. It's just a smile and a hello. That's all you need. And the kids would just do it. Yeah, I'd say, go over there. That boy's sitting all by himself. That's not good. And it's not. Yeah.
You mentioned your son, and I remember back in, I must have been sometime when I was a student there. So sometime in the late 90s, I remember you telling me one morning, as I was checking in about your son, and we had a conversation about what had happened. And you mentioned you quit. Was part of quitting, and certainly dealing with a loss as big as that one is not easy. Was part of the walking away from Hamilton at that time because you had a constant reminder with all these young students walking by you every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was their age. Yeah. So every time something would click. But then when I did get done, I hated it. I hated that I left them, that I left the students, because it gave me joy. So what are you doing? So I said, you're either going to make me or break me. I'll go to Commons. And I walked in there and I said, you can do this. And it wasn't an easy trip. There was plenty of times I've cried in there. Jeff Mahar would be coming in on Sunday and saying, every day it'll get better. Every day. And that man literally would come in on Sunday morning and say to me, tomorrow's another day. And that's how I got through it. But you have to get through stuff, because if you block yourself to one thing, it will devour you. Yeah. I couldn't do that.
And then you ended up serving as a mother figure to countless students.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
really.
did. I'm telling you, you did.
Because I would say it, I would say it just the way I would say it to my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way I look at it, they're my kids for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I thought in the beginning. Well, it's gone on to bigger and better.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for it. It just came. And which is good
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a little nobody compared to others. And I thought to myself, only a little cafeteria lady. What do they see? Then I realized they seen the love.
Mm-hmm.
They seen the love. And I still have it. I have not gotten tired of these kids. And if they do something wrong, the hammer comes down. And we'll straighten that. Marge, we'll never do that again. You bet your life you won't.
What are some examples? You don't have to name names, but what are some examples when you've had to put the hammer down?
There was a couple. There was a couple. The football team, I wanted to wring their necks because they would leave a mess. Like you have no idea. And I'd say, why are they doing that? And the coach came in and I said, hey, do you teach your guys to be slobs? He goes, what are you talking about? I said, there's slobs here. He says, I'll come in tomorrow night. I said, you come in at 9:00 and I won't touch the 3 main big tables. He come in. He says, oh, this is not happening. They had to do laps. He got them all up in the night. It took 3 times. Then all of a sudden, clear as a bell. If somebody had left a plate, Marge, we'll get it. We'll get it. Don't you worry. I said, I didn't think so. Tell the guy that left the plate, tell him what you did. And that's the way it's been. I don't pull punches with them.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't lie to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't lie to me. I'll say to them, if you need help, you come see me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will try to work it out. If I can't, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I've always, to this day, I still do that. Because I feel that I need their reassurance that it's okay if you do something wrong. And I think they trust me when I say something.
Yeah.
Might not be right, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you get students at a very different time than most do on campus. So I'm curious to that point, what else do you see in the students that a professor might not?
I see the loneliness. If
Wow.
they're sitting alone,
Yeah.
if they're having troubles with their parents, if they're having trouble. And it's not that they say it to me. I just feel it when I go by them. I'll give them a little tap on the shoulder. That's all they need. You can get through this.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll complain and say, oh, I really don't want to go to class. I look at them and I go, what are you kidding me? You have it in your hands. A gift. Do it.
Mm.
You don't want to go to class? Get out there. And I'll throw them out. Get going. Am I right or wrong? Just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be silly. Tomorrow you can be silly.
Again, like a mother.
Yeah.
Like a mother.
I would say it to any of them. And you know what? It's a bond that we have up here that nobody can break.
Mm-hmm.
I can look at them and I could see if they're in trouble or if they just want to chill out. I see it. Oh, geez, Marge, I forgot my mask. I'm going, you kids. So I don't give them one. I give them 2. And they go, and now I'm only supposed to give 1. I'm letting it out of the bag. And I'll give them another one. I'll say, just in case this one gets broke. Geez, Marge, thanks a lot. I'll just go. Just get out of my face. And I treat them like I want to see them smile and laugh and have a good day. When they leave, I have thousands of kids say good morning to me, and that brings love to me. Morning, Marge. Just the name alone brings so much warmth. And when I say, get out of here, get to class, or they're smiling.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've reached single name status like Madonna or Rihanna. I mean, Marge, you don't have to say anything other than just Marge, and everyone knows who the hell you're talking about.
Guess what?
Celebrity.
I don't even have to wear my name tag anymore. You used to get in trouble if you didn't have your name tag. I had one supervisor give me 6 of them. I said, why are you giving me 6? Because you keep forgetting it. And I still have those 6, believe it or not.
That's funny.
But
how long do you think, talking about dealing with students every day and the love, sometimes tough love, but the love you give to each student, I imagine every batch of first year students that come in think that they can BS you. How long does it take a first year student to realize there's no BSing Marge?
Oh, I'd say 2 weeks, if less, because when they come in,
if they cross you too early, yeah.
Oh, and there's been a few, and guess what? Don't baloney me, because if you come by and you're ignoring me, you're going down. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But if you're honest with me, we could smooth it out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you lie to me or you think you're going to scam me, you can't scam me. I'm 77. Get out of here. I've seen it all. And I don't allow it.
Yeah.
I don't. Or if they don't pick their plates up, I'll go, hey, you think I'm your mother? I'm not your mother. Get over there. Do you have a maid? I say that too. Do you have a maid? Because I'm not it. Get over there. And I think they love that. They want that.
Yeah.
They want guidance because they think, well, I'm off to college. Well, the other day I just yelled at them. I said, are you kids back in high school? Are you playing games with me? You picked the wrong one to play because I don't play it. Pick up after yourself.
Has that changed, or have students changed over time? You mentioned when you first started, you were struck by they wanted to learn and get out of there. Have you seen an evolution over the years of the Hamilton student?
They're the same, but they're young adults.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call them kids. I call them young adults that are looking for the stars, and they can reach it. They can reach it if they want. But if you dog it, you're not going to go. You're just, I had one kid that he'd say to me, I'm not going to class. I go, what? And he'd go, no, I don't have to. He dropped out. And I said to him, you did it. Nobody else did it to you. You did it to yourself. And it happens. It happens. But no, I love my kids. And they know that. They know. They know when I look at them, or if they're in trouble, or if they got a headache, or they went out partying, I'd say to them, oh, I know what you did. You partied. You partied.
The hat comes in a little bit lower in that morning, right? Or
Oh, I've seen it a lot lower than that. When the pub used to be right out here, downstairs here. Oh my God, I'd come into work and there'd be bodies all over the lawn, and I'd go, oh, you poor souls. If you think I'm going to give you soda or anything else, no, it ain't going to happen. But that's growing up.
yeah.
You need to do that. They need to have, the other day they said they went to a party, some party, and I said, aren't you glad you were getting back to normal? And they go, yeah, Marge. I said, you guys need it. They need it.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long journey.
Yeah. How'd you make out through all the crazy times?
Well, I still worked.
Uh-huh.
They weren't going to slow me down. Get out of here. What? If you have to be afraid of everything in life, you'll never try it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I'm so thankful that I never sat back and said, well, I can't because I have a disability. Baloney. There is no disability. You learn to live with it.
And have you had it? How long have you dealt with the hearing issue?
My whole life.
Your whole life? Oh, wow.
I never knew it.
Really?
I thought I was hearing normal. I did not know that I was missing. Like I would hear a geese, geese that fly overhead.
Sure. I
would hear one. When I got my hearing aids, and I didn't get them till later on in life.
How old?
45, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the whole world opened up to you in a new way.
Yeah. Because I thought somebody's going to come in and say, hey, we're going to blow this place up. And I'd say, okay, great. Come on, bring it on. Really? Okay. Because I was the happy Marge. And I figured if I was happy, nobody would notice that I couldn't hear them.
Oh, wow.
Like I would hear a geese when I got my hearing aids on.
Yeah.
And I went outside the children's hospital in Utica. I heard a whole flock of them damn things.
Yeah.
You know what? They are very noisy and I don't like it. You probably have never heard them, but you listen. I'm going, all of you have got a quack up there? What are you, crazy? I never heard a flagpole. You know, you have
the rope hitting the flagpole. Yeah.
I never heard that.
Wow.
When they put them in my ear, the first thing the lady said to me was, Marge, that's the furnace. I never heard a furnace. I never heard a horn toot. I thought horns just went, they weren't loud. I didn't hear loud sounds. And that was okay. Or I'd be singing with my kids and I'd make up my own words because the words I thought I was hearing had no clue.
Well, Marge, there are people who have perfect hearing who suffer from that problem as well. I think I'm one of them.
Because I hear the beat. I don't hear the voice.
Yeah.
You don't hear the words. You hear the pounding. And it's great. I mean, I would go out dancing with my grandkids and my kids because I'm a partier. I won't lie. And they'd go, Grandma, we got to figure out something. And I said, why? What's wrong, guys? The words are bad, Graham. The words are bad. I go, get out of here. Nope. So we would go out and they'd go. I'd know enough to go sit. And they'd go, okay, I'll be back, guys. Because I danced with everybody. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was having a good time. Oh my God.
Any students ever get you out partying?
Yep. Down at the pub. Down below at the Rock.
Yeah.
Just once, maybe. And we had a good time. I enjoy every age. Well, not every age. 3 years old, I want to put them in a test tube. But high schoolers and college, I could hang out with them all day, all night long. I'm known to party. At camp, I have a camper, and we park at an RV place. Had it for years. And we'll party with all the girls, and they poured me in once or twice. And then the next day I say, why'd you do that to me? And they go, you did it yourself. Okay, never mind.
You were overserved. They overserved you, Marge.
Well, no, we just sit by the fire and that's it. And you don't move for 4 hours. Now tell me you've never been there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
No, me either. Oh,
Well, I have to confess, for I don't know if it's still continued, but back in the mid to late 90s, we used to do I played rugby. I was the captain of the rugby team, and we had a scavenger hunt every year for initiation. We'd make the rookies. And it was, if you could bring a dining hall worker to the party, you got a certain amount of points. Marge was bonus points. And I remember more than once, I remember the bonus points were granted because Marge showed up.
wait a minute. I showed up for 10 minutes.
That's right.
You kids are killing me.
That's right.
If I get caught, I'm going to get fired. So I would walk in and I go, hi.
That's right. And we cheered to no end, and then off you went.
And the security go, what the hell is she doing? I just never mind. Once you learn the trick, then you'll be fine.
That's right.
I just go in one door and out the other.
True story.
It's a true story.
It absolutely is.
And my heart would be boom, 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 boom. And I say, if I get fired, I'm going to come back for these kids. I swear to God. One time I went down to Bundy. Remember Bundy?
Sure.
They had it all decorated. And I said, oh, there's a lot of things I don't want to see. Marge, let me show you this. No, I don't think so. I better behave myself. No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but you know what? They brought so much joy to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And if it brought joy to them, I'm on for it. I'm sorry, but
so I imagine there must be times when Commons gets a little raucous or the kids get out of control that you kind of want to take those hearing aids out, probably, right?
sometimes I do. Yeah. No, if and it's not the noise and it's not the students. It's the commotion. Because it's not, I hear the sound, but it's too many. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to take them out because if they yell fire, I want to be
first one out.
The hell with you kids. You're on your own. Everybody fend for themselves. I mean, I would guide them out.
Yeah.
Like when we used to have the fire drills, or we'd have to go down in the basement. Was it 2 years ago or something when we had to go down in the basement and be very quiet and stuff like that? I would say to them, and I'd have to be the last one. Now, Commons, they're all open windows, right? Perfect shot, right? You ain't going to miss this girl. I would round those kids up. I'd say, let's go. Well, we'll take our plates. I said, now let's go down in the basement. You think I want to be shot? You're crazy. And I'd guide them down there. And then we had some kids that had little issues, and I would set them off to the side. And I would always, always make sure that they could see me. Because as soon as it was lifted, I would say to them first, you guys can go. Because I knew that they had issues. And they didn't need any more drama than what was going on.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
But we had to get prepared for that.
Yeah.
I think it was after 9/11, wasn't it? We had to do that, go down in the basement. The print shop. You know where the print shop is. Yeah.
That's an evolution, that something you weren't dealing with, in the early days. Some of the crazy. What else have you seen? I mean, the campus has physically changed considerably since the time you've been there. Do you get to enjoy the various elements of the campus, shows, and all the things that campus has stuff?
Yes. Are you kidding me? Aretha Franklin. She was up there, right?
Yeah.
And I said to the kids, I said, I won't be able to go. I can't get a ticket. Marge, you got a ticket. I sit right up front. I don't care. I sit right there. At one time we had an issue with somebody that was visiting the school a lot.
Mhm.
And kind of scary. He was sketchy. And anyways, they kicked him off, blah, 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 blah. He was doing it to a lot of colleges. And I go by with Aretha Frank, and there he is in the crowd. I go to security, I go, hey, I don't want to say anything, but that dude over there is not allowed on this campus, because I figured this is my campus. You're on my turf. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Guess what? Got out. But I don't know why. It shouldn't be any of my business, but it is my business.
Because it's your campus. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
your mom. That's how moms are.
Yeah. Roll them up, get them out of here. When I seen BB King, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I was there. I was on campus for that. I was a student when that was. Yeah, that was great.
Did that rock?
It was great.
Did you remember? I bet you don't remember. But at first, nobody clapped for him. And then all of a sudden, he started doing one of these. And I knew that if people didn't start clapping, he'd leave, because that was his motto. He wanted people.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody got up. I mean, not because of me, but they just realized that we've got a performer here. We don't have.
Yeah.
He rocked the place.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Place. Oh, he rocked it. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Who else did I just see? Who was up here a couple of years ago? Tammy Faye? No, not Tammy. Yeah. Oh, I got pictures with her.
Tina Fey. Yeah.
Yeah. I stayed in line for 4 hours because I wanted her autograph. What was I going to do with it? Sell it. And she took beautiful pictures with me. And she says, you stood in line all this time? I go, yeah, I'm no better than anybody else. I said, but the kids did let me skip ahead. And they do. They let me skip ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, here I am.
So the name of this show, as it's written behind you on the blackboard there, Had I Known, is a question I ask everyone. So if you think back to the early 90s when you first arrived at campus, across all of your amazing experiences working at Hamilton, think back to those early days. Is there anything you wish you had known?
I wish that I had the opportunity that other people have, because I didn't have that opportunity. And I only wish, what could I have been if I had succeeded in school and stuff? I'd probably be rocking, but I'm rocking right now. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
No, they can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when these kids have got the opportunity, boy, grab it. Grab it. I never let my kids know that I had a disability, because to me, I always thought it's not going to be a crutch for anybody, for any kid. You don't need to tell them what you went through. You need to push them through more. And my kids never knew. My kids never.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you talk about Hamilton being the coming to work at Hamilton was your first job, was the disability what prevented you from? It was. Wow. Yeah.
I was scared. My husband and I ran our own business. We owned a roofing company, and we were a little mama and papa. He only went to 8th grade and he was a self-made man.
Wow.
Yeah. So when people say that they can't better themselves, don't give me a pity party, buddy, because I've been there. There is no pity party. You have to survive, but for the good, not the bad.
Yeah.
And if you think people owe you a life, that's not the way it goes. You got to do it on your own. But we survived.
And you've passed that along to, I mean, at this point, generations of students. And, they talk a lot about, and I talk about on the show a lot, the liberal arts education, such as Hamilton, is about well-rounded education. And you learn, and I've learned way more outside the classroom probably than I did inside the classroom. And I think that includes, and in some cases is led by the experiences they have with people such as yourselves, that the education never stops, and you see to it. And so I thank you for that as someone who benefited from it. And I know that so many others have.
But I've gotten the joy back. That's how I feel. I when I leave here, when I walk in that door, I might have a lot of aches and pains, but as soon as I walk in that door, they're gone. They're gone. And I'm I can say 40 now, can I? I don't know. But I just feel young again.
Yeah.
And I wish more old, I don't want to say old, other people would come up and join us, because you know what? I don't like old people. I don't like them, because when this is no lie, when they rag on these college students, I'm all over them like a new suit.
Oh,
You
interesting.
have no clue. I will ream them from one end to the other. Because were you there once? I'd say to him, well, please move on.
Easy to forget how you were at that age, right? Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about you got a headache? Take an aspirin and get away from me. That's how I feel.
So you're feeling good.
Oh my God. I'm great.
Awesome. So you're going to keep going. How long are you going to keep doing this for?
Well, I like tormenting people. So maybe another 5 years.
Okay.
I can do it.
Of course you can.
I'll have to have a chauffeur bring me up by then. Pick me up at 2:30, will you?
Well, whenever it is, 5, 10, 15 years from now, that's one retirement party that's going to blow the doors off the joint, I'm sure.
Oh, you know what? I came in very quietly, and I like leaving very quietly. Isn't it funny? But that's just how I am. That's my makeup. I like to make everybody happy. And when it's time for me to go, it'll be just very settled. The way I came up the hill, I was scared. The way I go down the hill, I'll be happy. But it'll be quiet. So I've had a good gig here.
You sure have. And there have been a lot of people who benefited from it. And I'm thrilled to have been able to get to do this. I can't thank you enough. I was just back on campus a couple of weeks ago, and any pocket of time I had didn't coincide with when you were around. So I kept missing you, and I wanted to see you in person, but I'm so glad I got to do this now. Like I said, you're a legend on that campus and have bigger impact than most professors do on the students there. And that was true for me. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me, because you know why? If I can make one person smile, it makes my day.
She is one of a kind. That is the one and only Marge Petteys. I know she says she wants to ride off into the sunset without any fanfare and leave the hill quietly, but I don't see any way that the Hamilton community will let her go away quietly after all that she's meant to so many people. That was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. My thanks to Marge for joining, and my thanks to her for all that she did and meant to me as a student. You have been listening to Had I Known on WHCL-FM, Clinton, New York. HadIKnown.buzzsprout.com. Had I Known Show on social media. As always, my thanks to Dr. Michael Woods for supplying the music on the show. And once again, Doc is going to play us out. Hope you enjoy the show. We'll talk to you next week.
thine own podcast show on your radio or take it to go.